Hi there, everyone. Say hello. Today I want to talk about baby chicks.
Just give it a few more minutes. It'll be out.
I know a lot of you guys have bought chicks, and a lot of you are thinking about getting chickens, so I thought I'd make a quick video today, and I thought we would just talk about, see if we can get you to sit right here, see if we could talk about a few tips on things to do and not to do when you are buying baby chickens. So, first of all, I'm so excited that all of you are wanting to get chickens, or you've already gotten chickens. That just means all my friends are going to be crazy chicken people like me. You're going to make me feel more normal. Yay! I don't know about that, but anywho, I have raised lots and lots of baby chickens, and I've learned a few tips and tricks along the way, so I thought I want to share those with you really quick and just kind of walk you through the process of walk you through the process of some things you should know before you get chicks, and then some things to do once you already have them. Okay, so my first tip is, if you have not already bought your baby chickens, you need to do your research before you buy them. The first thing you need to decide is what kind of chickens you're planning on raising. If you just go somewhere like Tractor Supply, it will say on the little signs that they have beside of them, it will say, there's a couple of words here that you may have not heard before. They may say straight run. If it says straight run, that means that you are getting what will grow into hens and roosters. These chickens have not been what we would call sexed. That means they have not already decided in the hatchery if these are hens or pullets or not. So the word pullet is really just a young hen. So if you see it just says pullets, they may be more expensive, but that is, you will be getting just hens. So the reason why that is important is because you need to decide beforehand if you want to have roosters or not. If you buy a straight run, say you buy 12 chicks, you're probably going to get at least 3 roosters with that. And with 12 adult hens, you really are only going to need 1 rooster. So let's just say you buy 15 chicks. Let's say 3 or 4 of them are roosters. You're really only going to need 1 rooster, so you need to decide ahead of time what would your plan be for those other roosters. You're going to just sell them. Sometimes they are kind of hard to sell. You may even have to give them away. Would you be okay with culling them, with eating them? If not, you're going to have to figure out something to do with them, or you need to make sure that you buy pullets, which are only hens. Also, you need to check with your subdivision if you live in a subdivision, especially if you live in city limits, and make sure you can even own a rooster. Roosters are very noisy, and so you cannot have them in a lot of places. So the first thing you need to decide is if you want hens and roosters or only hens. If you only want hens, you need to buy pullets. And if it doesn't matter, you can buy a straight run. The second thing is the actual breed. You're going to be deciding between if you're buying your chickens solely as a meat bird. Are you going to be buying them for eggs only, or for both? If you're okay with, getting rid of the extra roosters and them just going into the pot, then you're going to want to, but you are purposely buying them for the eggs mainly, then I would buy what they call a dual purpose bird. That means they're good for meat and for eggs. And so that is important to know. And you are going to want to pick a breed that is going to do well in your area. I personally have a few favorites. My top 5 favorites are going to be, I believe they're probably all heritage breeds. My number one favorite is the Buff Orpington. That was the first chickens I ever had. They are my favorite. He's like right here watching me. Anyway, Buff Orpingtons would be number one. My number two favorite would be the Astrolorp. I believe probably a black Astrolorp. My number three favorite is probably Barred Rocks. My number four favorite, these are kind of together, would be the Easter Eggers. Because I really like having colored eggs. My number five favorite, maybe the Golden Star or the Black Star. One of those. They're really great egg layers. So I like the Buff Orpingtons the best. They're just all around. They're just a great bird. If I could only have one breed of chicken and them all be the same, it would be Buff Orpingtons. So you need to read up on your breeds, though. There's hundreds of breeds out there. Do you want a really big breed? Do you want a small breed? Small breeds are going to be better to stay in a confined coop all the time, but they also lay smaller eggs. Your big birds are going to cost you more in feed, but they are going to be better meat-wise. And I personally think that the bigger the bird is, the more gentle they are. They're easier to catch. They can't really fly away when you try to catch them. So somewhere in between there is usually a good fit for us. So pick the breed that you want and decide what color, and it should also tell you what color eggs they will lay. If you look at a grown hen right here in their earlobe, the color of their earlobe will tell you what color eggs they're going to lay. So that's an interesting little fact. And once you've chosen your breed, you bought your chicks, they need water immediately. So once you get their water and their food bowl set up, you'll take their little beaks like this. If this was the water, you dip their little beak in the water. Does that wake you up? And that's how you'll help them find water initially. And then for their food, if they're not wanting to be interested in, if they're not interested in the food, kind of like tap on the little food bowl. That's what a mama hen does. She comes over and she pecks where the food is, and it draws her chicks in. You can do that, and that should help them get interested in the food. Heat lamp. You will need to provide heat for your chicks for the first 6 weeks. For the first 6 weeks, they are going to need heat until they are feathered out. This is only 3 weeks old. You can tell it still doesn't have, it's still not fully feathered. You need to use a red heat lamp. The reason why we use red is so that chicks, especially as they get a little bit older, they will get real picky. They will literally peck each other to death if there's any type of little something going on their skin or missing feathers or anything. So the red keeps them from pecking each other. So a red heat lamp. You want your heat lamp close enough to them that they are warm, but not so far away that they're constantly huddling just under the heat lamp. So when you put your heat lamp in, if it's down too low and it's making them too hot, they'll hide in like the corners of your brooder. If it's too high up and they're too cold, they'll stay right under the heat lamp the entire time. So you want it somewhere in between where they're just moving around all the time freely in the brooder. So that is the heat lamp, at least 6 weeks. Their food, the first, I believe, 8 weeks, you will start them out on a high protein, usually 20 to 24%. I start out with 24% for the first 8 weeks. After that 8 weeks, you'll go to a grower. So the starter is first, then you'll move to a grower, which is a little bit lower. It's 20%. They'll stay on that from 8 weeks to 18 weeks. And at 18 weeks, you will move them over to a layer pellet or a layer mash. And that's what they will stay on until it's molting season. 18 to 20 weeks is when they usually start laying eggs. And so if you already have your chicks, they're already in a brooder and they're getting it to be a few weeks old, you'll probably notice they're already starting to fly up on the sides and perch. They get really flighty, they want to fly the coop. So you're going to need to put something over the top or you'll start having chickens just running all around your garage or house. The easy fix if they're inside would be to just cover it. We keep ours outside because if you do already have chicks, you've already noticed they're extremely stinky. I mean, they get so stinky. We had them in our basement and still couldn't even stand it. We could still smell them when we walked inside the house. So if you're going to move them outside, you got to make sure that your brooder is super secure. You'll have snakes, possum, cat, dog, anything of that nature will get to them really easily. So you want to make sure it's built very secure. Okay, so the next thing to talk about is if after you've had your chicks for a few days, you may notice that some of them are starting to act like they're feeling sickly, not feeling well. Maybe they're just tired, or maybe they're just not acting like the rest of them. The first thing I would do is I would check their little bottoms, their vent, and I would make sure that there is any poop that is like cake to that is called pasty bite. And what will happen is if it will just get caked up around their feathers, their down back there, and then it will cause them to not be able to use the bathroom. That will all back their system up and they will die pretty quickly. So it's important. You'll need to clean their bottom. You'll need to add some maybe like some probiotics or some apple cider vinegar to their water, and give them plenty of water. I actually wouldn't even give them any food probably for that day, just water, until you watch them, see if they're feeling better, and then I would continue to make sure that their bottom is really good and clean. You can add Vaseline around their bottom to keep their poop from sticking to their butt. So that's a few tips on pasty butt. And then also, if they're just not feeling well and that's not the problem, if they're feeling real tired, you probably aren't eating and drinking enough. The number one most important thing for chickens at any age is water. I keep like a little medicine dropper, like what you would use for infants. And I drop water into their beak like this. I just open their beak and drop it in. And usually you'll start to see them feel a little bit better immediately. And then I will also scramble an egg and give them some scrambled egg to eat. Scrambled egg is basically, all the same egg nutrients as what they were already eating when they were inside of the egg while they were growing. So that's really good nutrients for them. It usually gets them on track and feeling much better. You can also buy these little packets of probiotics and electrolytes. You can add that to their water. That's for any age chicken also. So you can do that. And every now and again you're just going to lose one, and it doesn't even have anything to do with what you have done or not done for them. That's just nature taking its course. So another thing that you should start thinking about now is your coop design, because once your chicks are 6 weeks and they don't need a heat lamp anymore, you can go ahead and move them over into the coop that they're going to live in. So I would start to plan out my coop design right now. My top things that your coop is going to need: it's going to need shade, it's going to need shelter. Obviously, I think that it's best to have a coop that's fully enclosed so you can actually lock the door at night. And you are going to need, fencing, probably some netting over the top. A few of the things that you're going to need to think about when building your coop is that by the time they're about 8 weeks old, each chick is going to require 3 square feet of space. By the time they're an adult chicken, they're going to need 10 square feet of space on the outside or the run of your coop, and they're going to need 3 square foot per bird inside of your coop. So you need to think about that and think about if you ever want any more than what you already have currently. Go ahead and build accordingly. Super important for your coop to be in the shade. They're not going to do well when it's super hot out. We have ours under a tree, our smaller coop. Let's see. You're going to need ventilation. It's going to need some type of ventilation, and you can't close them up totally at night and there not be some type of vents inside of your coop. It needs to be as predator proof as possible because everything wants to eat your chickens. They are not at the top of the food chain. Your nesting boxes, you do not need one nesting box per hen. You only need one nesting box for every about 4 hens. They share nesting boxes. They don't all lay at the same time. Sometimes they'll even sit 2 together in the same nesting box. I have around 75 chickens, and I think I have 15 nesting boxes somewhere around in there, and they really only use about 10 of those. They have their favorites. You're going to need to make sure that the ground where you're planning on building your coop drains easily. They're not going to want wet feet continually every time it rains. Make sure that you don't build it somewhere where water's just standing all the time. And perches, you definitely need to have a perch on the inside of your coop because that is where they will sleep every single night. They cannot sleep just standing on the ground. We give them sore feet and cause a lot of foot and leg issues. So they need to be able to perch like this. So build those inside of your coop as well. And obviously they're going to need food and water every day. So I hope you're ready for the commitment of, you know, always feeding and watering them and always locking them up at night is my #1 recommendation. Build a coop you can totally close up at night and lock them away, because you would be surprised what predators can make their way through chicken wire and such as that. Let's see. And once again, for the coop, once they're grown, they're going to need 10 square feet of space on the outside part of your coop per bird. They're going to need at least 3 square feet of space per bird on the inside of the coop. Okay guys, so a few of the last things are they, baby chicks, they bond with you like toward your face. So you want to be sure and hold them and talk to them, let them get to know you very well. And you can let them out for short periods in a like little fenced in area as long as you're watching them so no predators get them for 10 to 15 minutes a day. You know, don't be afraid to hold them, spoil them, love them. Give them a little extra attention. You want them to bond with you. All my most favorite chickens, for the most part, I have a few that I did not raise myself, but they're definitely my most gentle hens are the ones that I raise myself. When I let hens raise the babies, go broody and just raise their own, I can never catch their babies. I can never really do a lot with them because mama raised them. When you're raising your chicks, then you are mama hen, and so they're just going to like you a lot better. So having chicks is really fun. It's really rewarding. Your kids are going to love it. You're going to love it. They give you fun entertainment. They're really fun to watch. It's the best pet ever. Anyway, I'm really excited that all of you have went out and bought your chickens, and I hope you have fun with them. I'd love to hear what you've named some of yours or see some of your pictures. So send those to me, and I hope you guys have a great day. Share this with you guys. The whole time my favorite rooster has been sitting at my feet, just patiently waiting. Oh, I'm sitting on steps and my foot went to sleep, so I can't even move. Oh goodness, Red. Hey buddy. Hey bud. Let's see if I can sit down here by him and take a selfie. Let's see if he'll stay. You're not gonna stay for a selfie? You're not gonna stay for a selfie? Hey, Red. Hey, Red. And there he goes. He was just content just being beside of me and not being the star of the show. Red. Red. Big Red. Oh, I just love him. Oh, guys, I'm trying to take pictures of the chickens. I have some Buff Orpingtons right here. Buff Orpingtons. So these lighter colored ones, those are the first chickens that I personally ever had. Let's see. Looking for an Astralort, but I'm not seeing it. And then my Americanos are actually in another pen. So, yeah. Okay. So I'm not seeing any of my Americanas out here, but I will put a picture. Hey, Stan. Stan, say hi. Hey, gals. Come on, bud.
What is that?
It's a wing. What?
I told you he was using his foot unless he turned around. See? Here we go. He's fine. Oh my goodness. Stuck.
Oh, brother, sister.